1-0, and winning is hard. The expectations are set really high for this team, and we're striving for perfection. And so I feel like tonight we showed in spurts who we are, but I don't feel like we played a 40-minute game of Rice women's basketball. So I think there's definitely some areas that we can clean up and improve in, but again, 1-0 to start the season, and so I'm proud of them for that.
Coach, how do you keep your team focused when games get in not just one half, but two halves?
Yeah, we talked in the locker room just now about making sure that we do not allow our opponents to dictate how we play, or allowing whether our shot is falling or not to dictate how hard we're playing. Because again, we started out pretty good in the first quarter, and then it felt like there was a lid on the basket. We had a lot of good looks, threes, and layups that just didn't fall for us. We had 26 offensive rebounds, and we couldn't seem to put the ball in the basket as much as we normally are capable of. So we just got to push through those. There's going to be nights that the shot doesn't fall, but the two things that we can control is our defensive intensity and our rebounding effort. We won that battle, the rebounding battle, pretty well by 20 plus, so that's great. That's encouraging. But I'd like to see our energy pick up and be more maintained.
And we're just talking now that the defensive performance, y'all were near the top of the conference last year in scoring. It was defense sometimes that got y'all. How encouraging is it to come out school history 5 points in the first half?
Yeah, it's definitely something that we've worked really hard on. I think, again, I've talked about this quite a bit, but now I have Trent and Malia that have played for me for 3 years. DJ's played for me for 3 years. Then you got Dom and Jazzy and Shelby that have played with me for 2 years. So there's more people that know exactly what I want. Maya's played with me for 3 years, so they know exactly what I want, and they know what the expectations are. So I think they're setting, they're laying down the standards a lot quicker than what we have had happen in the past.
Any other questions?
That's good. Oh, players. Malia, especially. You looked like you were trying to do too much to get started, and then all of a sudden you settled down, and the game came to you. Just talk about that.
First game out, I think you had some little jitters in the beginning. As the game goes on, you start to get that rhythm and get that feel, and then you're not forcing anything. So I think as a group and individually, I think that's what we did. We just had to settle in and get our bearings right, and we came out and showed what we can do.
You kind of knew that there would be some first game jitters. What was it like going into a halftime locker room and only seeing 5 points on the other side?
It felt pretty good defensively, but I think this wasn't a game to beat an opponent. This was a game to see what we could do as a team. And going into the locker room, I think we lacked in some areas. So defense, great. I hope we can continue that, and we will continue that. But just to keep focusing on our game and not letting what they do dictate anything that we do.
And then what do y'all think it's going to take? The exhibition, y'all put up 100, offense was clicking, defense was clicking today. What's it kind of take? Coach talked about playing a 40-minute game. What's kind of the next step to get there?
I think just trying to clean up our little drop-offs. Like Coach said, we'd see what we're about in little spurts. So I think just being consistent in that, that's one of the things we harp on every day in practice, is win the day and being consistent. So I think just going into, HCU and TC, those are going to be very tough battles. And I think just being consistent for a 40-minute game is what's going to get us set with the W.
And then I know you always talk about the next game, but or is it 12 straight non-conference wins? But how neat is it to, over time that next game accrue something that impressive?
Yeah, this team we're building something special. We talked about last year's book is being officially closed, right? And we're writing a new book and making sure that the sequel is as good, or if not better, than last year's book, right? So they keep putting their names in program history record books. That's pretty special. Again, we didn't want to let up and let them score 38, but they held a team to the lowest first half points in program history. So again, they're finding ways to make there be things that are special every game, and I'm excited to be able to be alongside them and do this with them. Because again, this is a group that really, really loves each other and really has each other's back and wants to be extremely successful together.
And then, Malia, I know it's, we've talked about it before, but getting to be on the bench in the second half and watch some of the teammates that you work with all off season get their chance to make their college debuts and score some points, how special is that?
It's always fun, you know, especially Layla Conley coming off the bench and doing what she can do and getting everybody really hyped up. It brings a lot of energy to our bench to see people come out and do what we know they can do, and just excited for them to get to debut that.
Definitely the deepest team we've had, and that's exciting too, right? Being able to sub and not feel like there's a drop off, and being able to be even more efficient because they're not as fatigued as they've been in the past, right? Malia went from, I don't know, 38 minutes a game, 40-minute games her freshman year to now being able to be almost a double-double in 25 minutes. So, you know, that's something that couldn't have happened 2 years ago. So I think that goes a lot to show about how deep this team is and how special this team is as well. It was good to have Maya and Dominque back on the floor tonight. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you've talked a lot about how close the team is. I was just wondering if either of you guys could speak on how that helps, like, and how that manifests onto the court.
You got it.
And I think just building lifelong sisterhood bonds off the floor, I think that's where it all starts. Off the floor, I think we all harp on making time for each other, and it relays on the court, celebrating each other every chance we get. So I think just trying to harp on building off-court relationships, and it's not something really the coaches tell us to do, but something we want to do, and I think that kind of culture is very rare nowadays. So I think that's something very special, and it shows on the court as well. And you know, keep climbing the ladder like we say. So as long as we keep doing that and building relationships off the court too, it's gonna be really special.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
you.